There are just so many tips that will make you improve in Apex, but so many of these tips take so much time to implement, and sometimes they end up not really being that valuable anyways. Today I will be introducing my cheat code series where I only feature the highest value tips that give the best results possible for the least amount of effort. Bring out your cheat sheet and let's get into it. After shooting one bullet while aimed down sights and then unscoping, the next few bullets out of your gun will still be with aim down sights accuracy, allowing you to hit insanely good damage while not being affected by the aim down sights slowdown. Once you lose the aim down sights accuracy, you can simply reset this process over and over again until the target is dead. Wraith cannot run through doors when in face. If you're fighting a Wraith who tries to face away from the fight by heading through the door, just close it in her face. You can easily get rid of most of your recoil by keeping your aim on the target, walking in one direction, and smoothly pulling your aim the other way to keep your sights centered. This is also known as recoil smoothing. There are two settings that every Apex player should turn off. First, there's the FOV ability scaling, which by default makes your field of view vary when using certain abilities like Bloodhound's ultimate or Octane's stim, which in turn makes it a lot more difficult to consistently hit your shots. And then of course there is the death box close when taking damage, which makes you stop looting a death box the second you get shot. Keeping this setting on will make it near impossible to quickly grab an armor swap in a pinch, and it is one of the first settings that I always turn off. If an enemy starts punching you out and you want to gain some distance away from them, just hold crouch. This will cause you to slide backwards if they do hit you and create some space for you to shoot, reload, or whatever you wanted to do. You can gain a little bit more of a distance when climbing by adding a side strafe input to the left or to the right as you finish the climbing animation when your character is about to push themselves up one final time. If you find an attachment when looting, the game will actually tell you whether a teammate can use it or not. If there's a little white dude in the top right corner of the item plate, this means that one of your teammates would need this item as a direct upgrade to what they already have. While Loba's ultimate generally has a limit of 2 items per user, you can actually get the exact position of any item within its range by opening the black market, pinging an item that you want, stepping away from the black market, and holding the ping button will display a small line from your black market all the way to the item's physical location. Gibraltar's bubble has a visual and audio cue at 7 seconds, where it does a whomp sound. After the cue, the beam in the middle will start flickering, and 5 seconds afterwards, the bubble goes down. This can be used to know when to shoot the enemies within the bubble, but also act as a cue so you know that you can throw a Gibraltar ultimate at the enemy Gibraltar's bubble, or act as a timer to help you stick an arc star which will fall down and hit the enemies inside once the bubble goes down. Point being, this bomb will save you from needing to manually count backwards from when Gibraltar's defensive dome goes up. There's actually some loot on top of this dildo in containment on Kings Canyon. Although smokes and other visual effects do a great job of blocking the sight of enemies in normal circumstances, you're still able to see enemies through the smoke if they step in front of certain items such as a death box, or pingable items such as a care package or even a door. If the enemies stand in front of the edge of the ring, their outline will also be visible through the smoke. Keep this in mind before accusing someone for cheating after they beam you through a smoke. You can lower your reload time by a significant amount with 2 different techniques. The first technique is the tactical reload, where you only reload with 1 or more bullets left in the magazine, as this stops you from needing to do a rechambering animation. And the second one is something called reload cancelling, where you start the reload, wait until the ammo counter in the bottom right refreshes, and then quickly swap between your melee and back. Depending on the weapon and your sense of timing, these 2 methods can combined cut down on your reload time by sheer seconds. I don't generally recommend double kicking a door to break it when an enemy is on the other side and waiting, because odds are they will kill you once it breaks. But one way that you can kick a door open without risking immediately dying is kicking the door twice and then immediately jumping and holding a side strafe after you break the door. This lets your character get out of the way without standing still and taking a face full of damage from the enemy who was waiting for you. While ziplines can't be destroyed by conventional means, there are actually some workarounds that allow you to make a single-use zipline. First off, there are certain items in the game which is mobile and constantly moving, like the growth towers on Olympus. These growth towers are constantly spinning, and placing a zipline that crosses through their path will have the zipline break once they touch. You can also place a zipline going through a doorway, either at the end of the zipline or in the beginning of it, or even just as it crosses through, and if you do close the door, the zipline will break as well. If you have a down teammate holding a door and there's an enemy on the other side, there's actually a way to guarantee that you start reviving the teammate instead of opening the door and getting you both killed in the process. In order to do this, all you need to do is hold the interact key as you approach the door and your teammates. When you get close enough, your character will start interacting with the closest thing on your screen, which obviously will be your downed teammates. Using a big heal takes 5 seconds, which is the same time it takes for your golden magazine to reload. Meaning that if you pop a battery or medkit as you have a weapon with a gold magazine, it will reload in the same time it takes for the battery to finish. And to take this to the next level, if you don't have a battery but you want to heal up and reload at the same time, holster your weapon and start using your cells in the meantime. Some doors actually have gaps by the bottom or the corners in which you can roll grenades through and hit the enemy on the other side. You can tell whether this gap exists when holding the grenade in your hand and checking the reticle. You know the grenade will go through when it doesn't show the round impact marker. If you're playing Rampart, there's actually a great way you can holster your mobile shield by pressing the toggle firing mode button. Unlike just slinging it on your back, this actually refunds the ultimate and gives you charge back based on how many bullets you had left in the magazine. If you need to use a medkit in zone 1 or 2, the best timing to do so is when the health bar is right underneath the armor bar. This gives you the most health for the least amount of medkits and allows you to rotate safely into the zone. If you are unsure about if whatever you're aiming at is a person, just ping it. If it turns red, it's an enemy player. Enemies pinged this way will display differently in the kill feed, with the word enemy being in a different color. If you are playing the very edge of the zone and you aren't sure whether the position you are in actually is in the next circle or not, pay attention to the circle in the minimap. If the circle is flashing, that means that your current spot won't be in the zone in the next ring. However, if the circle is a static white, that means you are safe. If you aren't sure whether your guns are reloaded or not, instead of bringing the guns up and wasting precious time, you can open your inventory to see that instead. When it comes to mid-fight cover, remember the 2/3 rule. If you want to ensure that as little of your body is exposed to the enemy as possible, you want to ensure that 2/3 of your screen is covered by the piece of cover that you are behind, with the last third being your enemy. Ideally, you want to make sure to only see one enemy at a time. If you drop one of your guns when crafting ammo in the replicator, it will only craft the ammo for the one gun you have equipped, and as such will save you a lot of crafting materials. Certain guns like the longbow actually has some magnification on the iron sights, and you are generally speaking better off using the iron sights than a holo or 1x HCOG. Every gun upon pickup except for the Ottr has a full magazine's worth of ammo. If you are completely out of bullets, that means you can pick up a replacement from the ground to replenish your magazine instantly. By touching or kicking a wall by the end of a large fall, you can actually stop yourself from getting affected by fall stun. Grenade markers will actually warn you for no reason. You only take damage from a frag grenade or arc star up to 9 meters away, but you will still receive the grenade indicator as far as 11 meters away from the explosive. Keep this in mind before you panic. And those are 27 of the cheat codes I have been collecting for quite some time. If you guys have more cheat codes you would like to share, let me know in the comments. And if you are interested in learning more about Apex, you should definitely check out the video on the screen. And if you haven't already, you should like and subscribe while you're at it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.